Imagine tasting the crisp sweetness of your garden's fresh apples in the dead of winter. It's no magic but the result of preserving the abundant harvest from your garden. The succulent tomatoes, the crunchy cucumbers, and the aromatic herbs can all be savored beyond their season. The secret? Canning, drying, and freezing. These age-old techniques allow you to extend the life of your produce and enjoy their fresh taste all year round. So how can you enjoy your garden's bounty all year round? Let's dive into the world of preserving garden produce. Canning can seem intimidating, but it's a traditional method that has stood the test of time. It's a way of preserving your garden's bounty that allows you to taste the sunshine of summer even in the heart of winter. Can you imagine opening a jar of your own garden's tomatoes in January? The taste is simply incomparable. But where do we start? The list of supplies needed for canning isn't long or complicated. You'll need jars with two-part lids, the flat lid with a rubber seal, and a screw band. You'll also need a large pot for a water bath, and a jar lifter or tongs to safely handle hot jars. A wide mouth funnel and a headspace measuring tool will also make your life easier but aren't strictly necessary. Now let's dive into the canning process. First up, we need to sterilize our jars. This is crucial to ensure that no harmful bacteria will spoil your preserved goods. Simply submerge your jars in a large pot of water, bring it to a boil, and let them sit in the boiling water for about 10 minutes. Remember, safety first. Once your jars are sterilized, it's time to pack in your produce. Let's take tomatoes as an example. They should be washed, cored, and peeled. Then, pack them as tightly as you can into your jars, leaving about a half an inch of headspace at the top. The headspace is important to allow for expansion during the canning process. Next, wipe the rim of your jar to ensure a good seal, place the flat lid on top, and screw on the band. It should be tight, but not overly so. Now, it's time to process your jars in a water bath. This means submerging your jars in boiling water and letting them sit for a set amount of time depending on what you're canning. For tomatoes, that's around 45 minutes. After the processing time is up, carefully lift your jars out of the water with your jar lifter or tongs, and let them cool on a towel for about 24 hours. You'll know your jars are sealed properly if the lid doesn't pop up when you press on it. If it does pop, no worries. Just refrigerate that jar and use it first. Cucumbers, on the other hand, are often pickled before being canned. This involves soaking them in a brine of vinegar, water, and pickling salt, along with any spices you like. The process is similar to canning tomatoes, but the processing time in the water bath is usually shorter. And there you have it. That's the basics of canning. It may seem a bit involved at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really quite simple. And the reward, a pantry stocked with the fruits of your labor, ready to be enjoyed all year round, is well worth it. With canning, you can enjoy your garden's tomatoes and cucumbers long after the growing season ends. So roll up your sleeves, harvest your garden's bounty, and let's get canning. Drying is not just for grapes. You can create delectable, healthy snacks from your own garden. Imagine biting into a piece of dried apple, each bite releasing a burst of concentrated flavor. Or maybe you're more of a savory person, so picture this. Homemade vegetable jerky, a savory snack packed with the nutrients of fresh produce and the satisfaction of a job well done. These are just a couple of the delicious possibilities you can create by drying your garden's bounty. Drying is an age-old food preservation method that works by removing water from the food, which inhibits the growth of bacteria and other food spoilage organisms. This process not only preserves your fruits and vegetables, but it also concentrates their flavors and nutrients, turning your garden's produce into tasty, portable, and long-lasting snacks. So, how does one go about drying their harvest? There are two main methods: sun-drying and using an electric dehydrator. Sun-drying, as the name suggests, utilizes the power of the sun to dehydrate your food. This method is perfect for those hot, dry summer days when your garden is overflowing with ripe produce. To sun-dry your fruits or vegetables, you'll need to slice them thinly, arrange them on a drying rack or screen in a single layer, and leave them in the sun to dry. Remember to bring them in at night to protect them from dew and critters. The second method, using an electric dehydrator, is a more controlled and faster way to dry your produce. Dehydrators work by circulating warm air around the food to remove its moisture. To use a dehydrator, you'll need to prepare your fruits or vegetables just like you would for sun-drying. Then, simply arrange them on the dehydrator trays, and set the temperature and time according to your dehydrator's instructions. Regardless of the method you choose, it's important to store your dried goods properly to maintain their quality. Airtight containers, like glass jars or vacuum-sealed bags, are perfect for this. Stored properly, your dried fruits and vegetables can last for months, allowing you to enjoy the fruits and vegetables of your labor long after the gardening season has ended. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does drying affect the nutritional value of my produce? The answer is yes, but not as much as you might think. While drying does result in a slight loss of some vitamins like vitamin C, the majority of nutrients remain intact. Plus, the concentration of flavor and nutrients in dried foods can make them a more appealing snack, which can lead to a higher overall intake of these nutritious foods. So, why not give drying a try? It's a simple, effective way to preserve your garden's bounty, and the results are truly delicious. Drying allows you to snack on your garden's fruits and vegetables anytime, anywhere. Freezing is the superhero of food preservation, locking in flavor and nutrients. Let's delve into the world of freezing. It's a fabulous way to preserve the vibrant flavors and vital nutrients of your garden's bounty. But it's not just about tossing your produce into the freezer, there's a bit of science behind it. Freezing slows down the enzyme activity that causes food to spoil. It's like pressing a pause button, preserving your fruits and vegetables in their prime state. However, not all superheroes wear capes, and not all veggies should be frozen raw. That's where the process of blanching comes in. Blanching is a quick dip in boiling water followed by a plunge into icy cold water. This process halts enzyme activity and helps preserve the color, texture, and nutritional value of your produce. It's especially important for vegetables like beans, broccoli, and leafy greens. Now let's talk about fruits. They're a different story. Most fruits can be frozen without blanching, but there's a trick to keep them from clumping together. It's called tray freezing. Simply arrange your washed, sliced, or pitted fruits in a single layer on a tray. Freeze them, then transfer to freezer bags or containers. This way, you can grab just the amount you need without having to thaw the whole bag. Once your fruits and veggies are prepped, it's time to pack them up. Here's where things get a bit chill, literally. Make sure to use containers that are moisture and vapor resistant, durable, leak-proof, and won't crack at low temperatures. These containers protect your produce from the dry environment of the freezer, preventing freezer burn. Freezer burn, by the way, is not your friend. It's what happens when food loses moisture in the freezer, leading to dry, grayish-brown patches. It doesn't make the food unsafe, but it can make it unappetizing. Proper packaging is the key to avoiding this frosty foe. And finally, let's talk about organization. It's not just for the neat freaks among us. A well-organized freezer makes it easier to find what you need, reduces waste, and helps maintain the quality of your food. So label your packages with the contents and the date, and rotate your stock so you're always using the oldest items first. So there you have it. Freezing is a fantastic way to keep your garden's bounty at its peak, ready for you to enjoy whenever you please. It's like having your own personal produce aisle in your freezer, stocked with all your favorites, just waiting to be savored. With freezing, your garden's produce can taste as fresh as the day it was picked any day of the year. Today, we've explored 3 fantastic methods to enjoy your garden's bounty all year round. We delved into the essentials of canning, discovered the art of drying, and learned how freezing can keep your produce fresh. Each method has its unique benefits and convenience, allowing you to savor the flavors of your garden throughout the year. Don't forget to subscribe for more practical gardening tips and share your preservation experiences in the comments below. Happy preserving!